Hello everyone, this is Ravinder Dundra and welcome to my channel. Today we will talk about this resources and development, class 10 Cbse geography first topic. In that we will see the classification of soils. In the previous lecture we have seen soil as a resource. Now let us continue the classification of soils. How soils are classified, what are the different types of soils and how they are useful. So let us begin. So in this lecture, how these soils are classified. So on the basis of factors responsible for soil formation, that means which we have already discussed in the previous lecture, what are the factors that are responsible for this formation of soil, and based on the color, thickness and texture, age as well as chemical and physical properties, the soils are classified into different ways. What are those? Based on what are these things? Again, based on the factors responsible for soil formation, based on the color, based on the thickness as well as texture, then age as well as chemical and physical properties, these soils are classified into different types. That the first one which we will now talk is about this alluvial soils. One of the very important soil in India, that is alluvial soil. At the same time it has many uses. So let us in detail discuss about this alluvial soils. Where these alluvial soils are found is that they are mainly found in this northern plains. For example, if we take this if we take this is India, so here this particular region and this particular region, they are entirely covered with this alluvial soils. Then how these alluvial soils are mainly formed is that they are mainly formed because of three important Himalayan rivers. They are, one is Indus, Ganga as well as Brahmaputra. That means, then you may ask, are these alluvial soils only covered in this region? No, they are also covered in other regions such as Rajasthan and Gujarat, but in a narrow zone, not in a complete manner, but in a small narrow zone. This particular region, these Rajasthan and Gujarat covered with these alluvial soils. At the same time, in the coastal areas, that means the eastern coastal region is also completely covered with this alluvial soils. Why? Because this eastern coastal region is something like a delta region where different types of rivers are flowing. They are, one is this Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna as well as Kaveri rivers. So the deltas formed by these rivers are also covered with this alluvial soils. So mainly alluvial soils, they are covered in this northern plain regions which are formed due to three important Himalayan rivers. One is Ganga, Indus, Brahmaputra. Then these alluvial soils are also found in these coastal regions. On the eastern part of this coastal region, they are on the regions of this Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna as well as Kaveri. Now in detail we will see how these alluvial soils are classified, different types of alluvial soils and what are the benefits of these soils. Let us talk about this. What are the components of soil that are present in these alluvial soils? What type of components that are present in these alluvial soils? So in these alluvial soils there are mainly components such as sand, silt and clay are mainly present in these alluvial soils. We all know what is sand. Silt means something like mud, sand and soil which is carried through the water and deposited in a particular place. If it is deposited in a particular place, we call it as silt, and it also consists of this clay. Then what about this alluvial soils is, other thing about this alluvial soils is that in the upper reaches of this valley, near the break of the slope, the soils are coarse. That means, coarse means here you can say made of large pieces. So here in the place, in the slope regions where near the valley, near the break of the slope, near the valley, the soils are somewhat coarse. That means they are made up of these large pieces, and such soils are more common in Piedmont plains. What is this Piedmont plains? Piedmont plains means, for example, if you take any mountain or hill, the base of the mountain, we call it as this region, we call it as this Piedmont region. So the soils which are coarse or which are made up of these large pieces, they are mainly found in these Piedmont plains. And what are the main Piedmont plains? They are duars, chos as well as terai. What do you mean by these duars, chos and terai? Duars means it is something like, you can say, flood plains of northeastern region. Flood plains of northeastern region, we call them as this duars. That means wherever this Brahmaputra river is flowing, in that river you can find this flood plains. And what are these flood plains? Flood plains means, for example, if there is a river flowing like this, throughout the year the water may not be flowing in the entire river. Sometimes they will be flowing only in the middle of this river, and remaining zones, these particular regions, we call them as this flood plains. So duars means the flood plains of northeastern region, mainly which are found in this Brahmaputra river. Then what about this chos? Chos means the place where all the rivers are interlinked on the base of these shivaliks. You know, Himadri, Himachal as well as shivaliks. So on the base of the shivaliks, in the northern part of India, where the interconnection of different types of rivers, that particular region, also you can find this chos, or the region is known as chos, where the soil is somewhat made up of these large pieces. Then terai. Terai means, simply you can say something like a lowland. And where this lowland is found is that this lowland is mainly found in this northern part of this northern plains as well as the southern part of this Nepal. So southern part of the Nepal and the northern part of this plains, this particular region is also covered with this something known as this coarse alluvial soil, which is made up of this large pieces. So duars means floodplains of the northeastern region in Brahmaputra river. Then chos means the interconnection of all the different types of rivers near these shivaliks, the southernmost Himalayas. Then this terai means the lowland which is found in this northern part of India and southern part of this Nepal. Then not only based on these factors, the alluvial soil is also classified on the basis of this age. And how this is classified is that they are classified into two different types. One is Bangar, the second one is this Khadar. What are the differences between this Bangar and Khadar? Bangar means it is old alluvial soil. The other name of this Bangar, we may also call it as this old alluvial soil. Then Khadar means it is new alluvial soil, very newly found alluvial soil. Then here in Bangar there is a higher concentration of conker nodules. Conker means, you can simply say it is calcium carbonates. So conker means calcium carbonates. So in Bangar you can find higher concentration of calcium carbonates compared to this Khadar, where here there is a lesser concentration of conker nodules. Then this Bangar is somewhat lesser fertile. Why it is less fertile is because it is away from the river. This Bangar soils are somewhat away from the river compared to this Khadar. This Khadar is highly fertile. Why? Because it is near to the river. So therefore on the basis of age, the alluvial soils are classified into two different types. One is Bangar, the second one is Khadar. Bangar means old alluvial soil having higher concentration of calcium carbonates and somewhat lesser fertile, as well as it is far away from the river. Whereas Khadar means new alluvial soil where the concentration of conker is very less, but it is highly fertile because it is nearer to the river. So as a whole, these alluvial soils, they are very fertile, no matter whether it is Bangar or Khadar. Compared to all other soils, as a whole, these alluvial soils are very fertile. And these alluvial soil, it contains potash, phosphoric acid, lime. So these are the components or things which are present in this alluvial soil, and because of their presence, these alluvial soils are ideal for growing of sugarcane, wheat, paddy, pulses, etc. If you can see, most of the people in these plain areas, especially in this northern plain regions, wherever this alluvial soil is found, there you can see the growing of sugarcane, wheat, paddy as well as pulses. And since these regions are highly fertile, these soils are highly fertile, in these regions there is a densely population as well as you can also see they are intensely cultivated. That means wherever there is more fertile soil, there you can see the concentration of population is very high. Since these alluvial soils, they are highly fertile, because of that these regions are densely populated, at the same time they are intensively cultivated. That means without giving any gap, continuously they will be cultivated. For example, in states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar as well as Punjab, you can see here these two things. These regions are densely populated, and at the same time they are also intensively cultivated. So this is all about this alluvial soils. In the next lecture we will talk about this black soils. Thank you.